Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Scott Tate. I'm President and CEO of the Greater St. Charles County Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. Today, we've got Norma Davey. Norma Davey, I'll let her introduce herself, but we connected with Norma through our chamber connections, I guess. Her and her husband, Frank Kenny, are heavily involved in the Chamber of Commerce industry. And so I'm going to welcome Norma. Thank you for joining us today, and allow Norma to say a little bit about herself and then go right into her presentation. So thanks, Norma, for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott, for inviting me to participate in your Chamber U. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my slide and let's get started.
Excellent.
All right. Can you see the beginning slide, mobile 60 minutes?
We can, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about mobile 60 minutes. And if you're familiar with this logo or my voice, it's because you've been watching the mobile minutes that the St. Charles County Chamber has been posting on their platforms. And we're going to kind of just dig a little deeper on those. A little bit about myself. I've been doing social media for over 15 years now. And about 10 years ago, we decided to take our business, Frank J. Kenny LLC, 100% digital, which was a huge step 10 years ago. And people were like, oh my gosh, why are you going to do this? Yes, it was a challenge, but it really helped us understand a lot more of how to utilize social media to be able to help our business. And so 7 years ago, we hit the road full time in our RV, and we haven't looked back since. And so the things that I'm going to talk to you about today isn't theory. It's strategies and tips and tricks that we use in our business that you can take and use for yours to be making money. Sound good? Let's get started. Today, we're going to learn again about tips, tricks, and strategies, but we're going to talk about how to get more reach and engagement and how to easily grow your audience, develop that know, like, and trust, which is super critical, and build your business. But first, I really want to talk about social media is about being social. It isn't about selling to your audience. And that's something that's super critical to keep in mind when you're looking to do your social media. It doesn't matter which platform you're on. When you're doing a post, there's 4 things that I like to kind of put things into categories. It's either entertain, educational, informational, or is it inspirational? These are things that people are on social media for. And you notice I didn't put anything about selling. So we'll get into that as we move forward. One of the first questions that we get asked is, what do I post? Well, you post questions, photos, videos, giving value back to your audience. Why to post? Well, the first inclination when you're doing a business is always to sell. But when you're doing social media, there's a different angle that you want to do. You want to get awareness, and you want to get people to know you and like you, because people will do business more with people that they like. And then, of course, the ultimate is trust. When to post? This is kind of a fun question because that seems kind of odd, but you obviously want to post when your audience is online. So if you have a business Facebook account or a business Instagram account, you're going to get insights in those that already tell you when your audience is online. Takes the guesswork out. Where to post? Before, when I first started, and within the first 7 years of doing social media, it was really pick a platform and do it well, and your audience will be there. But nowadays, it's really, you need to be where your audience is. And that could be depending on your community or your niche and what you're offering. It could be a different platform than maybe what you're totally comfortable with, which is okay, because it gives you the opportunity to learn skills that you can actually use and hone in on to build your business. So I definitely recommend looking at where your audience is. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room, which is the algorithm. Every platform has it. It's a mystery to us all. But what we do know is there's certain tricks and tips and strategies out there, aside from spending money for ads, to get and boost, to get the algorithm to kick and to work in your favor. So let's talk about one of those features, which happens to be the share option. On
Hey,
Facebook.
Norma, really quick, are you thumbing through your slides, or we're only seeing the first slide so far? I don't know if you've advanced yet or not. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I have. Thank you for interrupting.
Okay.
Okay, so is there something I need to do on my end?
Um, do hmm.
Sorry
Try.
about
Oh, that's okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, now we see. Let's talk about the algorithm. We see that now.
that. Okay.
So maybe click on the left-hand side. Maybe.
Let me try this. How about that? Can you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Try. Yeah, we could see that. Yeah, it's changing now. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking. I was trying to see. It's kind of small on our end, but I just wanted to make sure that you did. So all right. So sorry for interrupting, but we're good to go now.
Okay. All right.
All
Well,
right.
I'm going to jump back to the algorithm slide.
Perfect.
Actually, and
Okay.
I'll also email you the slides so that you can share those with others if they're interested,
Okay.
especially knowing that they missed the first couple.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so again, we're talking about the algorithm. Got to get my rhythm back in here. So let's go over some ninja tricks and how to boost the algorithm, because this is absolutely critical for being able to get your post out in front of people. And most all of us are small business people, so we don't have the budget that corporates do. So there's some tricks that I want to show you, and Facebook is my favorite, so I'm going to show you this trick. You can do this trick with the other platforms, but it's just a little bit different. So with Facebook, if you post to your business page and you want to get that out there into other people, I go into my business page as my personal. So I have a Frank J. Kinney LLC page, which is the business page. And I go in through my personal as Norma Davey, and I will find the post that I want to boost, to bump into the algorithm. And I'll click the share option. And the share option will give you this menu of a lot of opportunities to be able to do this. This is a great way to use kind of the dark web, if you will, to be able to kind of hit that algorithm a little hard. I like to share it to my news feed, which goes onto my personal profile so more people can see it than just following the page. I'll also maybe share it to my story. So again, that gets out to more people, maybe not the same people that see it on my profile or the business page. I'll share it to a group as long as the group rules apply, that they let you share linked content into the group. So be sure and check the rules before you're doing that. Share to your page. So if you manage several different pages and you're sharing a post that's about business or something, and it's really good value, and you want, say it's on a page that you really want to get out there further, share it to another one of your pages as long as it's applicable. The other trick when you're sharing to your news feed or to somebody else's profile or in a message, make sure that you write something from yourself about the content that you're sharing, because you want people to read it. So don't just click share and say add to my newsfeed and never write anything about it. You want your friends to be able to trust you, to be able to know why I should read this information that you just posted from another page. So make sure you're personalizing that a little bit so they understand. So we're talking about share. But wait, what about Instagram? I mean, that's kind of crazy because Instagram doesn't have this cute little share feature. Well, I'm glad you asked. Social media is about being social, even on Instagram. Now, there's a lot of options out there to be able to share your gram or to share other grams. My personal choice is the repost, and it actually works for iOS or Android, and it's free, which is another one of my favorite features. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to take a drink of water. And if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them on what we've covered so far. You have any questions there, Scott?
I don't have any quite yet. We use the share feature a lot, and we certainly want to encourage maybe our members to share content that the chamber puts out there as well. We try to, when we post stuff, we try to make sure it's relevant to our community, make sure it's relevant to the chamber. One of the things I've been sharing a lot lately is the Hoffman family of companies is wanting to create a destination winery destination right here in St. Charles County. So we've been sharing a lot of that information out to our members, and they want to make it kind of like Napa Valley. So so we're excited about that here in St. Charles County. So I know we've shared a lot of information about that, but I think sharing is a great way to increase followers and provide content that maybe you don't have to generate all the time. So that's always for us the challenge is coming up with enough content, but we love to share content.
Absolutely. And user generated content actually helps build your trust factor a little bit more, because they're showing that, it's not all about you, and you're partnering and connecting with other people. And so, whether you realize it or not, people see that as kind of a trust factor of, hey, you're kind of trustworthy. All right, I'm going to pay attention. So that's great. All right. Well, we don't have any more questions. I'm going to go ahead and continue on a little bit. So we're talking about Instagram, and let's just take a little bit closer look. So Scott, I have one more question, since I'm having to do this differently than showing my slideshow through the slideshow. It's not going to actually show the animations that I've done on the slides then, is it?
Does it, I don't know what your options are at the top left. Is it like if you go down at the bottom of your screen there, where it allows you to zoom in and zoom out on the right hand side, that first, it looks like a screen. Yeah, go to the left of that, the screen, to the right. one more. Click on the to the right, that one. Click on that one, or you'll go full screen.
All right,
and it should show your animations then.
Okay, let's just give it a test real quick, because that's what I had it on and it wasn't showing you.
So yeah, it's not showing. It didn't go full screen. Try going. Okay, let's do this. Stop sharing that screen really quick. I may have to hit remove. I hit remove.
Okay.
Oh, you're fine. Okay. So go ahead and go full screen now.
Okay, let's try that.
Let's see if it goes. Maybe you have to do it before we add you to the stream. It's still not doing anything. All right. Let me try. Can you stop sharing that screen? Does it give you an option to stop sharing it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now go full screen. Now go full. Well, you won't be able to see it if you're full screen, though, will you? Try sharing. Okay, go in and hit share. Share screen and click on application window. Is that what you did?
All right, let me try again. I apologize, but I have some slides coming up that the animation is it's gonna look weird without it. So
yeah,
I I'd ask. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
you click on application window. All right.
I did.
And then try going full screen now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right. Are you seeing any animation?
No, it's still showing the same. We've never had this problem before. It's still showing the same.
All right. That's all right. I'll just go back to what I was doing, and we'll just have to, you'll just have to apologize. I apologize right now for all the heavy text on my slides.
We've never, this is all, we're still new using StreamYard. We've used it, but we've never used it with a lot of graphics kind of stuff. So,
well, we'll just learn it together. All right. So are you able
There you go.
Are you able to see when my slides shift then? Okay.
Yes, we can. Yep.
Well, we'll just wing it through this way then.
All right.
We're chamber people. We can do this. All right.
That's right.
One of the other things with Instagram is when you log into Instagram, there's a whole lot to see. And one of the questions I get a lot is, what on earth is all of these things on here? Because it's just like a bunch staring at you on the face. And I really want to cover this a little bit. And this is where I apologize for all of the text. So when you first log into Instagram, you're always going to be on your news feed page. And I broke down what these are. So on your newsfeed page, you're always going to see Instagram up at the top left, always. You're going to be able to add a post. You're going to be able to see your notifications. So if somebody liked or commented on something or tagged you in something, you're going to get a notification on that. You're going to be able to click that option up there, and you're going to be able to see exactly what those are. So it's kind of like a little bit of a notification feed, if you will. Your news feed is going to be here in the middle, and you'll be able to scroll up and down to be able to see the different posts that people that you're following has posted. On the posts themselves from other people, you'll be able to like, comment, and also you can share in their messenger DM option, or even to your story through their post. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as a share option for Instagram. Down at the bottom, it's going to be the same on both your news feed and your personal profile page. The little house always means it goes to your newsfeed page. The little face on the right-hand side is always going to be your profile page. And then in between is the search, the Reels and Instagram ITV option, and then also shop/shopping option to be able to get to easy. Up at the top on the right-hand side is an option that says messages and DM. On Instagram, the messages feature is called a DM, or a direct message. So this is where you can take deeper conversations with people to start looking toward doing sales. And I'm not going to cover that today, but that's something to keep in mind so that you're not trying to ask for the sales directly on social media, but more in a personal conversation. This part here, the 3 little dots above any post, these are absolutely critical and important to know what's in there. So if you click the 3 little dots, you're going to have the option of several things in the menu. When you're using Repost or some of the other Regram third-party apps, sorry about that, they're going to ask you about the link that you copied. You're going to have to click the 3 dots and copy the link of a post you want to share. This is where you're going to find it. Also on this, sorry about that. Also on this is a share to option. This isn't just to share to inside Instagram. This is if you want to Facebook message somebody, email it to somebody. This is an option to get it outside of the Instagram platform. It won't let you post directly to another social site through this share to. This is the other feature that I absolutely love. And for you, you'll want to do some type of image screen grab and ask your followers to be turning on post notifications so they don't miss anything from you. This is really, really important to make sure that they're seeing what you're putting out, because it's valuable and it's important, and it's building that know, like, and trust. So I would definitely recommend creating something that asks your followers, and you don't just post it one time and ask them. Keep it in your cycle on your calendar to where it goes up periodically, because your followers are adding. And so you want to make sure you're hitting those new followers with that ask as well. This is your profile page that you can click to by clicking your little image down on the lower right hand side. It'll bring up this page. This one always has your name in the upper left instead of the Instagram that's on the newsfeed page. It's going to have your profile picture. It's going to have your bio information. And I want to kind of talk about the bio a little bit, because people kind of, I think, overlook this and don't necessarily understand the value of this. This is the first impression that people have after they've seen your post. They immediately go to look at your profile and be like, well, who is this person, and do I want to follow them? Yes, you want them to follow you. So make sure you're keeping it short and sweet, because character space is limited. Don't be afraid to add some emoticons to kind of make it fun. If you can't write out a whole big word, find an emoji that will actually fit in there, that fits to what you're trying to say. The other key thing with your bio is it will allow you 2 clickable hashtags. So if you have hashtags for your business that you use on a regular basis, for us with our travels, we use FJK on the move. So anytime I'm posting anything about our traveling, I'm using that hashtag. So I have that in my clickable profile hashtag. And then we also work with chambers of commerce a lot. And so I always have the hashtag Chamber of Commerce, so that as I post things that are chamber or chamber related, I put Chamber of Commerce hashtag with it. So what a hashtag is, if you're not familiar, it's trackable data. and it allows people to be able to track whatever you're using that hashtag on. And other people can use those hashtags too, which is great, and you want to be able to do that. The only clickable link for Instagram is in your bio. So I'm going to cover that just a little bit, but you always want to make sure you have a link there, whether it's your website, your Facebook, or I'm going to show you another trick on that in just a little bit. Down below your bio is where you actually go in to create information on your bio or change the information. It's your edit profile. Right below the edit profile is your highlights, and your highlights are actually categorized stories. So if you've created stories, say on an event, a particular event, you can go in and create a highlight with the title of that event and go in and click through all your stories that you posted that have to do with that event, and it'll put it all in one place. So if you have product and you want to kind of keep certain products together, highlights are a great way to be able to do that. And also it kind of keeps your stories alive a little bit too by being on your profile that people can look at and see what you've posted. Down below that is your layout option. I choose the grid option because I like to be able to visually know right away I'm not on my news feed. I'm on my profile. Profile allows you to do the grid, or you can do the option where you scroll down just like you would on your news feed. Across from that is another icon that is, if you click that, it's all of the pieces that you've been tagged in. So it kind of gives you a quick little news feed of all the areas you've been tagged in. Up above that, in the green, you'll see an option that's next to the edit profile that is saved. When you are on your news feed and you are, let me see if I can go back really quick. Over here on the lower right-hand side, underneath a post is a saved option. So you see a post that you want to read, maybe it's a little more in depth and it's meaty and you want to get back to it, or you like the look of it and you want to kind of look at their marketing strategy or something, click saved. When you are in your profile, you can actually click this saved option and be able to look at all of the posts that you've saved so that you can go back and kind of relook at them or learn from them. Or I use them a lot for image ideas, because sometimes people will post something and I'm like, oh, that is a really great marketing piece, and I'll save it so I can go back and look at it and use it for ideas. Up above that, I want to kind of go into followers versus following. When you're first beginning Instagram, a lot of times those numbers are going to be really, really similar. But as your Instagram grows, you definitely want to increase your following versus your follower, or your followers versus your following. Your following is all about you. It's things that you find interesting, things that you want to learn from, products that you want to follow, friends and family. Your followers are your fans, your clients, businesses that you want to have following you for your information. And then right above that is an option that is the menu. And I want to kind of cover that just a little bit, because I feel personally that the menu gets overlooked quite a bit. When you click the menu option, up is going to come up this menu item, this menu list, if you will. In the settings, you want to go through what's under those settings. You want to make sure your privacy is set. You've got your security. If you're looking at running ads, make sure those are all exactly how you need to have them for your personal business and for your personal profile. Down below in the settings is another option that I really, really like to let people know about. So I would recommend you have a business account and a personal account. And down in your settings, it allows you to add account. And to be able to switch from those accounts, Facebook makes it super duper easy, and I'll cover that in just a second. Let's go back over to the menu option really fast. Down below is again another option where you can look at your saved items that you have saved out of the newsfeed to be able to look back on. if you're doing any shopping, you're going to want to set up, or even if you're setting up a shop, you're going to want to go in and set up this orders and payment option and be able to have that ready to go if you're looking to purchase or collect money. So that is a really, really important factor. Down below that is an option that says close friends. Yeah, you can create a list of your close friends, and that's great for if you want to keep your personal information separate from what you're putting out as kind of businessy. But I kind of look at this as my VIP list. So if you're a business and you want to have just a VIP list where, you know, people have paid to be part of this as an idea, you could create this VIP list that only certain sales or certain information about certain products, or maybe this is the list that gets the first to know about new products coming to your business. You create this VIP list, and when you go to create those posts on Instagram, and I'll show you this in a minute, you'll be able to send it only to this list. And so that is a really valuable tool for Instagram. When you're switching accounts, they make it super easy. No matter whether you're on your news feed or your profile page, if you double tap the image icon on the lower right-hand side, it's going to switch your account automatically if you've already went in and added an account to your Instagram. I believe you can add up to 5. Another thing about the clickable link option in your bio that I talked about, that I said I'd make sure I'd get back to. When there's only one place to put a link and you have several things that you post about that need a link, rather than the hassle of always going in and having to change that link on Instagram, I recommend using the tool called Linktree, and it's all one word. And you can do it from your phone, but I like to use my computer to set it all up and make sure everything's lined up right and whatnot. But on the right, when you go to do a post, you want to always add in that post, click the link in my bio, or the link is in my bio, so they know to go look where to click the link. What they'll see when they click the link in my bio is numerous options of things that we have available that I may have already posted about in different times that they can go to and they can click through, or they can click through all of them when they're on there. I have the paid version of Linktree, so you'll see down at the bottom it also has my other social sites, but the free option is just as good, and you can also brand it with your colors and that kind of thing. So that's definitely my high recommend for a clickable link in LinkedIn. Okay, let's take a quick break. Are there questions or anything that anybody might have on some of the things that we've covered?
We do have one quick, before I ask the question, one of the things I like about Linktree too is you could add and remove, if you've got some sort of special going on, you want to refer people to your link to access a special, or if you want to link to a particular product, you could change all that in Linktree without having to go in and change it in your social media every single time. So I think Linktree has some really good benefits for being able to refer people to specific products or a special deal or something like that as well, and just refer them to Linktree rather than. So I don't know if you could add anything to that or not.
I think it just depends on how you want to use that. But really, even if you put a link or Linktree in your Instagram content information where you're typing it in, they still can't click the link. So you really have to get them used to going to your bio to click the link. Right. So, and yes, you're right. On Linktree, you can change out exactly what you have to offer. You can add little logos with it. You can turn them on, turn them off, depending on which sales you might be offering at the time. That it's really a great product.
Yeah, I agree, and we use the free version ourselves. So yeah, it's a really cool product. We do have one quick question here. They wanted to see if you could touch a little bit more about the app repost. I think you touched on that maybe earlier.
Okay.
Can you touch on that a little bit more?
So what Repost does is it allows it's a separate app on your phone. And so when you're in, let me find a quick slide. When you're in Instagram and you see a post and you click the 3-dot option, you're going to click the copy link, which is right here. You'll go into the Repost app, and this again works for Android or iOS, you'll go into the Repost app and it'll ask you, a lot of times if you've already copied the link, it'll show up in your repost feed and you'll be able to just click right on it. Sometimes you'll have to actually copy and paste the link, but I've only had to do that a couple times, so I think it was just a glitch in the app. The rest of the time it's been right there in my feed, and I'll be able to click on it, and then it'll ask you, do you want to share this? And you click, click share to Instagram. It'll ask you if you want to copy the text that comes with that post. I usually do. And it also asks you if you want to tag the person that the post is from. Yes, you want to tag the person that the post is from. And then it'll open up an Instagram and it'll already populate, as though you did this post, it'll populate the image, it'll give credit to the person, it'll have text. And then the other thing that I like to do when I do repost is above where their text information is, I'll write something out. And then I'll hit enter and maybe do a couple dashes just to kind of separate so that they know this is my part, this is what came with the post, so that they can kind of read both and make it a little more personalized. Does that help answer the question?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I just had one really quick other question. Yeah. And maybe you're going to touch on it. Facebook stories, Instagram stories, or do you have a little bit more to say about that? My only question about that is, you'd mentioned, maybe different people see the stories, and I know it's a fairly new feature on both of them, that maybe they see the stories rather than the posts. So do you recommend maybe when somebody's making a post that they also add it to their stories too? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Why don't we get into that?
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if you're going to do that or not. Anyway,
all
perfect.
Right.
Nice
Okay.
segue. All right.
Oh, that was a great segue. Well, let's dig a little deeper and have some fun then. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
What about stories? Maybe we should talk about stories. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, sounds like a great plan. And I had no idea she was going to talk about that. So
it's like great minds think alike, right?
Right.
So stories are an absolute awesome product, and I love that they came out with it. And obviously they must be doing something well, because now Twitter has fleets, LinkedIn has stories, Facebook has stories, Instagram has stories. They're everywhere, and they're catching on all the platforms. So how sometimes some things only work on one platform and not another. Stories seem to be working all across them. So I created a section just on stories. So I'm glad that you asked that. The thing with stories, if you're not familiar with it, is they are only 24 hours. So you have to kind of think about, if you're doing an event or you've got a product that you're putting out, that window is short. The other thing I don't think I have in my slides that I want to mention about stories is this is also a great way to share user content. Let me show you really quick, since we've got the slides right in front of me. On a post, there's the airplane option. If you click that airplane option, it'll give you the choice to share it as your story. So let's say it's user content that you really like and you want to get it out there to your audience, but you're not sure you want it to live on your profile feed forever, because maybe it's a competitor, maybe it's a special sale, and you don't want it 3 months on your page when that sale is long gone. Click the airplane option and share it to your story. Tag the business or whoever it is that is posting. As when you're doing your story, you can actually tag that, and that way they get credit. They'll actually get a DM message saying you tagged them in this post, and so that's a relationship builder option for another business or a client or a customer. But it's also a way to use user generated content that doesn't have to live on your feed all the time. So that's a great way to utilize stories. Stories are fun. I also recommend, since you're taking the time to create a story, and I've tried the other platforms for creating stories, and personally, I love all the features that Instagram has. So if I'm going to take the time to create a story and really do it, I'm going to use Instagram and use all the tools that they have. And then I'm going to repurpose it to my other platforms later on. So The newsfeed and the profile page both have the option to create a story. If you click the little plus icon, I've showed you an example where they're at on the newsfeed and the profile page. So you're not, it doesn't matter which page you're on, you can always start a story there. When you're in stories, up on the upper right, left, there's an option that's like a little cogwheel. When you click that, you're going to want to make sure that you're setting save reels to device. This will save as you're setting. Whether you're doing reels right now or not, make sure that you're setting that, because when you go to do a reel, you're going to not remember to do this. So I'm telling you, get it set and have it and be done with it. You can turn your flash on and off if you're doing a video story. On the right-hand side are all these incredible options. I decided I wasn't going to go through all of them because there's so many and there's so many neat things about them. Play with them. Don't worry about it. Nobody sees what you're doing until you actually share it to your story. So this gives you the option to really figure out what each one of these are. And I definitely recommend it. Some of them are absolutely super fun. The super zoom, I'll just give you a clue on this. That one is exactly what it is. If you I tried this on my dog, by the way. So I had it so that I could see the dog's face, and then it just zoomed right into their eye and came back out. So that might be a great eye catcher for a product or something that you're doing for your business that would really, it just stands out when somebody sees it across their story. So I would play with those. They're super fun. Down, the center button is always your record or your snap a photo option. If you don't want to do a video right away, but you really want to kind of do a story, say you've got a lot of product, you don't really have time to do a video of each particular product, snap photos of each of them, go into your camera gallery and put them up onto your story. Stories also has an option where you can do a layout and you can have several images on one story using the layout option. So I would definitely recommend, again, playing with that, looking at utilizing your gallery for doing different story posts. Next to the snap and record button are filters. So if you're doing a selfie, and you can also do this with the camera facing the other way, but really if you're doing a self video or a self photo, these filters are incredible. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, there's a vanity filter in there that can make you look dynamite. So not that I've ever used it, but I'm just saying. So definitely go into the filters option. And again, play with all of these features because you're going to find ones that you like better than others and start using them to help build your brand. It will actually help if you're consistent with using the same filters, the same font, the same colors that match your brand. It's going to help you stand out also and be consistent. Down below on the lower right is where you change the front and back camera. But in the middle is where you can do a post, you can do a story, you can do a reel, or you can do a live. So anytime you're doing video, this is what your screen's going to look like. And you're going to toggle back and forth by sliding to decide which one you're going to do. On the stories, when you're posting a story, up at the top, when you get it ready to go, where it says at the bottom, you're going to send it. Up at the top, there's a down arrow. You want to click that and you want to save it to your device because that is allowing you to have that already saved. You've already done the work and you can actually repurpose that on all of the other platforms that allow stories. What I don't recommend is going to each platform at the exact same time every single day and post the exact same thing across all of your platforms. Whether it's a post, whether it's a video, whether it's a story, stagger those times. It's really critical because if somebody's like, if I'm on Facebook, I may have Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn open all at the exact time and scanning through each of them. If I see a post come up from somebody that's the exact same post across all platforms, I'm going to be like, what the heck? Why am I following them on these then? Why don't I just stick to one? So you don't want to do that to your audience. You want to get them to be on the other platforms. So staggering your posts, using the same content is fine, just not at the exact same time. Up at the top on the right-hand side, use these tools. This is another place that I'm going to tell you, practice, play with them, check them out, see what they have to offer, kick the tires. Don't be afraid, because like I said, they aren't going to see anything until you hit send and share it to your story. Also, I want to mention up in the upper right, this is where you can add a location, where it's a clickable button for adding location. You can add a clickable hashtag. So again, if it's your business and you want to have that clickable hashtag, or if you're at a particular event and that event has a hashtag, this is where you can put those. You can add short little snippets of music onto your stories, which makes them kind of fun. I definitely recommend playing with those. Down at the bottom, you'll notice before I hit send, I have the option of posting it as my story, or I can send it to my close friends. So I've just went through the work of creating something about my new product line that's coming out. And guess who I'm going to send it to first? I'm sending it to my VIP list that I created early on that we talked about, because I want them to feel a little bit special before I announce it to the rest of my audience. So this is a great place where that VIP list comes in handy. So when I click send to, this is what's going to come up, and I can click the share, which goes right to my story. And again, that VIP option, which is my close friends only, or I can actually send it to a specific person on my list in a DM. So if it's something that I'm posting and I think, well, like my husband Frank he needs to see this, I can also DM him and be able to get that to him. Once you have it up on your story, let's say you post, you hit send, and you go, oh my gosh, I forgot to save it. Now what do I do? Don't worry about it. When your story is up, click the 3-dot option, and it'll actually give you the option to save it. So if you missed it while you were doing the creation part of it, you can still go back and save that. You can also now share it as a post if you'd like. And again, I wouldn't do these at the exact same time. So let's say later on in the day, you want to get that out to a different audience. Go up and share that story as a post. It goes back out into your newsfeed as a different content, and maybe to a different audience that maybe there's some people that don't watch stories. So that's something to think about. You can also do the send to, which sends it outside of Instagram. And then here again is that copy link if you need to and want to use the repost app. So I'm going to take a quick break again and see if there's any questions, and kind of wet my throat.
Yeah. Now I was going to say the Reels is actually kind of Instagram's answer to TikTok, correct? I mean, a lot of people hear about TikTok, so if you're not familiar with TikTok, you have Instagram. You could still create very similar videos as TikTok, but do it through Instagram.
Absolutely, and we're going to cover that again too. Scott, you are on.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm ruining your whole presentation.
No, actually, you're helping it because you're leading into it. I just want to make sure, did I cover your story question well enough on what I talked about?
I think so. Yeah, I think they covered everything.
Okay.
The 24 hours is all that's up there, and the ability to share and do all that kind of stuff. No, I think that was perfect. So
okay.
I think a lot of people still don't take advantage of that, and we're probably guilty of that as a chamber ourselves. We're still guilty of not really taking advantage of the story feature ourselves. So it's maybe that's something that we'll start to do. And I think a lot of times too, I'm always one of these people. I want it to look good, and so I don't want it to look like an amateur, and that's part of the fear of me not putting a lot of video out there is because I don't want it to look like an amateur. And so I think these tools, they give you the tools to make them look a little more professional. So they do a really good job. So
it's just like what you're doing with StreamYard. Using this platform, it allows you to look like you're at a studio because you've got the branding and everything else. There's so many great features out there now and tools at our fingertips. And Instagram, honestly, I feel is making it super easy to look good no matter what. Did I mention the vanity setting?
Yeah, exactly. I know they're out there. I've never used them. I should probably take a little more advantage of them myself. So it'd be like a miracle filter if it's using on my face. So
oh, whatever. All right. Well, on that note, let's move forward.
All right, moving on.
So we've talked about stories, but don't ever underestimate the power of a post. Your stories are out there and people are watching them and it's helping keep you top of mind. But you also want to be doing regular posts because when they come to your feed, you want to give them something to see that you've been doing or information about your product or what you offer. And so if they come to your feed and all you've been doing is stories and there's nothing in the post, it's kind of like an empty plate. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to ever underestimate doing posts. So posts are permanent unless, of course, you delete it. Then it's obviously gone. But in your newsfeed and your profile page, if you click the plus option, it'll allow you to start to create a post. Posting is super easy to do. You can do a video, but I like to do a lot of photos or inspirational quotes or information that people may need. So I did a post this morning that happens to remind people, oh gosh, guess what? It's spring forward time. So when you go to do a post, up's going to pop up your gallery options. And so down here, you can choose recent photo that you may have in your gallery, or you can click, special folders that you might have in your gallery. Right above that on the left-hand side, you'll see a weird little option with two arrows that go two different directions. If you automatically click that and just do one click, it'll automatically size your image to fit on Instagram. So pretty much, unless your image is super large, it's going to shrink it to fit to the Instagram square. Or you can take and move your fingers on the image at the same time to either make it bigger or smaller. But I love that little handy click the button option. Once you've got to the next step, up at the top in the very center is an automatic enhancing option. So if you click that, it'll go in and just make your image look a little brighter, or help fix a little bit of the airs. I sometimes use that and sometimes I don't. There's no rhyme or reason as far as why I would use it. It just depends on maybe the look I'm going for. Below your image post is options for editing or filter. I have the edit option open because I want to show you, if you scroll all the way over, there's a sharpen feature. And no matter what post you're doing, I really strongly recommend sharpening at least 25%. It may not look quite all that different to you, but when it transitions to the post, it's actually a little bit crisper than if you just did it without doing the sharpening. So I always like to recommend that. There's also filter options when you're doing this. So play with the filters, look at what fits your brand. And again, nobody sees any of this until you actually hit next and post. When you hit next, it's going to ask you to type in what you want to say about this. Never do a post without typing something with it. It doesn't have to be an epic novel. It can be just a simple question. It can be something about it, but make sure that you're writing about it. When you're doing a post, it also gives you the option of tagging people. So say you have coworkers that were maybe at this place that you were at and you want to tag them, or some clients or customers, go ahead and click tag. If you're following them on Instagram, you'll be able to tag them. If you're at a specific location, like when we get out and about and we're having coffee together and you want to tag the coffee location, this is where you want to add location so people know what's out and about and around you. Once you get through that, go ahead and click share. And now it actually posts onto the newsfeed for you and other people to see. A quick little tidbit for boosting your post on Instagram is go in and click the little heart button and give it some love. It sounds a little funny, but it also snaps that algorithm. It doesn't work every time, but it works more times than not. And then also there's the little comment feature. And this is back with what we were talking about with Facebook. There's the comment option where if you go in and leave a comment in the comment section, what a lot of people like to do, if they're not comfortable leaving a comment, they'll save the hashtags. Instead of putting them up in the post, they'll put them down in the first comment, which is good because it bumps the algorithm, and it also has that icebreaker factor where nobody has to be the first one to comment. So those are some good tips with posting. Do you have any questions on that part?
We'll let see if anybody else comes in. But one thing that I kind of laughed at or snickered when you talked about taking a picture of your coffee, because I know that our tourism office was using a hashtag, and they could go out and see. They were wanting to share or kind of organically what photos of visitors. So they used some sort of program that allowed them to get permission from visitors through their hashtag posts and share that on the tourism website. And they're like, you wouldn't believe the number of people that like to take a picture of their coffee, at the coffee shop. So anyway, I guess the same kind of goes along with food. People like to take a picture of their food too. So it's all good. But no, that was just kind of funny. So it doesn't appear we have any questions yet. So I do know somebody made a comment. They appreciated you going through and their ability to be able to follow along on their phone as you're doing all the demonstrations. So anyway, so no, that's what our members like and our viewers like. So they like to see the hands-on exactly how to do it kind of thing. So we appreciate it. So I'll let you continue on then.
Awesome. Thanks for the feedback. Well, I didn't actually cover hashtag strategy in this particular presentation, but since you brought that up, I'm going to mention something. When you create a hashtag, like say your tourism is, Coffee St. Charles or something, let's say they created that hashtag. So if somebody uses your created hashtag for your business, for your event, for your product, whatever it is, and they use that hashtag, they're giving you permission to use that content because they said, this is the hashtag, this is their marketing, this is the hashtag, I want to be included in all of this because I don't want to be left out, So they use that hashtag, and then the person that generated that hashtag, like in your case is the tourism, they can do a hashtag search, or they can do something like through a product called Tagboard, and they can follow that hashtag, and it brings up a dashboard, and it will show everybody that's been using that hashtag, and then they can go and share onto their platforms that hashtag, what that user had used with the what that user had posted using that hashtag. So
I also recommend maybe even going out before you try to create a hashtag, make sure it's not being used by somebody else in a way that you don't want it used.
I always recommend that, because the last thing you want is to have a hashtag take off, go viral, if you will, and find out later, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. So always research your hashtags that you come up with and think's a great idea before you put it on all of your marketing and all of your platforms, because you just never know. And that's a great tip. All right, let's move on so we don't get too far behind on time. So, oh gosh, look, there's Reels.
Look at that.
So again, when you're doing any kind of post on your social platforms, I really want to mention again that you want to be thinking, does it entertain? Does it educate? Does it inform? And does it inspire? Reels is, like Scott mentioned, the Instagram/Facebook version of the hot TikTok that's going off right now. I am not a person that will go and jump on the next new shiny thing, because I really like to try to do what I'm doing and do it well. And so for me, I loved that they brought Reels to the platform, and for us to be able to not have to go outside and do one more product. You may choose to look into TikTok. I didn't cover any of that because I just feel like I like to try to stick with what I know. And so when they added Reels, I was kind of excited about this, and I wanted to kind of mention why you want to look at doing Reels. They're eye-catching, they're trendy, people are loving them because they're just short snippets of information, and it's great. It allows you the opportunity to get new followers. They're up to 30-second videos. So really they prefer anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds. It doesn't sound like very much until you go to create one the first time. You'll be surprised at how how long 15 seconds can seem. You can add music, you can do transitions on it. I've seen a lot of people when they're first starting out on Reels, when they're talking about information, they do a lot of pointing so that they can just add text onto it. So it's an easy way to learn how to do that transition. But it's definitely fun. It's definitely something that is really catching people's eyes right now. Be creative. Don't this is where, you know, Scott and I might have the same thing with this. I'm a perfectionist by fault, and I want I want to look like I know what I'm doing or whatever. And so reels scare me a little bit, but be creative, have fun with them, because people aren't expecting them to be serious. And then also remember to save them, because you want to be repurposing them. And I've heard through a couple of my marketing groups that they've seen a trend on Facebook hampering down when people are posting TikTok versus posting their reels. So that's something to kind of think about too, with trying to make sure that you're also helping your algorithm and not getting that that slap on the hand, if you will. On Reels, when you're on your news feed, you're going to actually put your finger on the left-hand side of your screen, and you're going to hold your finger down, and you're going to push to the right. Once you do that, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. And this is, again, where I'm going to mention to you, make sure you're checking out all of these options that they have here. People aren't going to see it until you go to post it. Check it out. Play with them. There's some great fun things in there. Okay, I'm going to take just another quick break and see if there's any questions that you might have on Reels.
Yeah, I subscribe to TikTok, so I watch it. So it's so funny because I find myself often not watching TV and just sitting there and watching these short 30-second videos on TikTok. So, but I've started doing the same thing on Instagram too. So there's definitely some power behind those two. We do have a question. So, do you think moms are on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok more? And what about in a year? Do you think that they'll still be on those, or?
So my answer is yes. It's going to depend on the demographics and what people's interests are. Are there moms on Facebook? You bet there's moms on Facebook. They may be a different age demographic that you're going to find on Instagram, which also might be a different age bracket that you're going to find on TikTok. If you're on those and you're trying to reach moms, I would be looking at like your insights on Facebook, for example. It's going to tell you your followers and what your age demographic is and whether they're male and female and that type of thing. And you'll be able to kind of maybe hone your information that you're putting on Facebook into a different age bracket than maybe what you're doing on Instagram and TikTok. But they are definitely out there. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, hopefully. We got one more, just a quick question, I guess. On Reels, can you import music, or are you only able to use music that's theirs? I think that's probably always a concern with regards to copyrights. So I guess that's a good question.
I believe there's an option if you own, like if you have iTunes and you've purchased and whatnot, that you can upload. You can make your own music if you do like a music studio, and you can upload that, or they have some great options also. Okay.
Looks like that's it for right now. We'll let you move right along here.
All right. So we're going to talk just a little bit about lives. And again, when you're doing lives, think entertain, educate, inform, inspire. This is a great way to be top of mind. It breaks through the clutter of people's days where all of a sudden, oh, hey, they're live. I need to pay attention to what's going on. It's a little different than if you're doing a reel and or a reel or whatnot. The other thing with it is, these are great for broadcasting. So if you have a business where, let's say you're a tax consultant and you want to do tips that are coming up, and you could break these up into lives, or you could take questions to where people are like, I need to know XYZ, and you offer this, ask me anything for 10 minutes and do a live. Or you can talk about a new product line that you're doing, or you can interview somebody through these lives. But the key thing with lives is it breaks through the clutter. And I don't recommend doing lives 2 or 3 times a day. They can be a little exhausting and also a little overwhelming to your audience. So I try to think about the lives as a way to kind of weave into everything else that you're doing, and not just constantly do them. Lives are almost like that triple chocolate dessert that you get once a week or whatever. So be thinking about that, but be putting lives into what you're doing, and don't be afraid of them, because again, we're used to people being online now, and we're used to it not being a pro studio, and that's okay. Plus, like with the program that you're using with StreamYard, Scott, this is a great platform to be doing lives from. I definitely recommend it.
I agree.
To do a live on Instagram, again, you're going to put your finger on the left-hand side of the screen, hold it down, and scroll over. It's going to pull up this screen. And again, I definitely recommend checking out the options that it has and the filters down below. Also with a live, you can actually change your camera setting as you're doing a live. So it could be on you for a moment. You could switch it to look at the product, back on you. It's just a great way to just get out in front of your audience better and be closer and build that relationship deeper. Any questions on live?
No, somebody asked if there's a limitation on the time length of the live. So there's not really a limitation, but probably best practices would you probably don't want to have a 30-minute presentation all the time on live.
It really depends. I've seen anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes be very successful. I've also heard people do 2-hour lives. It just really depends on what you're doing, and is it valuable. If you're standing there doing a monotone for 2 hours, you're probably not going to be that successful.
Right.
But if you're somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk and you're delivering, dripping value for 2 hours, people are going to hang on. So really, it just depends on the content and your audience. Pay attention to so lives, the other great thing about it is it'll show you how many people are watching. If you're doing it and you're doing it and you're doing it and people are interacting, and all of a sudden you start watching that number decline, you start wrapping up. You wrap that baby up and you say, okay, we're going to get back to you next week, and thanks for joining us, and you move on. So that number is really, really a great feature for lives also. And it isn't necessarily because you don't have something valuable. It could just be time of day where you just happen to catch a lot of people at one of their breaks. So, don't sit and hold that as a personal thing.
Well, and the good thing, I think, when you do a live too, they typically save it to whatever platform you're on. So people could go back and watch it at a later time if they wanted to as well. So I think it's really nice. I've struggled with live. I know there are chambers out there that do, I think, live videos of ribbon cuttings, and I'm just not quite sure that's something that's really engaging to just sit there and watch somebody cut a ribbon. We usually just do photos for that. What do you think? I mean, do you think live video for ribbon cuttings is riveting, or do you think it depends?
Again, I think it's going to depend. If it's a brand new business, people are going to probably want to see that because they can't be there in person, and they're going to want to see what's going on. The other way around that is maybe do it live, not of the ribbon cutting, but it may be later as a tour of the business.
The business, that's what I was thinking.
You can do a walkthrough of the business. People want to see that. And, especially now that we can't get out and about like we'd like to, those personal tours are really valuable. I would definitely look at doing those.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
Don't see any other questions, so we'll let you go ahead and move on.
All right. Well, I'm almost done. I just want to kind of share just a little bit of strategies that you can use on any platform moving forward. Don't hesitate to schedule your posts. I've talked to a lot of people that this is kind of a challenge for them. They either want to schedule everything or they don't want to schedule anything. Put it into nugget bites. If you can schedule a month out, that's awesome. But that doesn't always fit with how quick things are changing right now. So I always try to recommend, do it a week at a time, just because, this last year has showed us that nothing is for sure. So you don't want to have a whole month that you have to go in and alter or delete. So that's something that, as we grow, we can change that, but schedule your posts. Facebook makes it easy if you partner your Instagram on Facebook. That doesn't mean I'm telling you that when you post to Facebook, you need to post to Instagram. That is not what I mean. What it means is you can go in and use the manager setting in your business Facebook account to post to Facebook or post to Instagram. I never recommend posting at the exact same time, but it makes it nice and easy. And I like that. And you can also get all your messages from both platforms right on Facebook. So you can get it right from your computer, all of that stuff. So I definitely would look at that. The other thing, if you don't want to do the Facebook and you want to be able to do your other platforms and schedule, look at a third-party app. To be able to do that. There's Hootsuite, there's Buffer, there's we use a program called Smarter Queue. They all have great things that they offer. So find one that fits for you. And then once you've got all these posts out there scheduled, that takes a lot of pressure off of you because you don't have to be thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to put out there? Instead, take those stolen moments in between meetings when you're sitting down with your coffee, and look through what's been posted so that you can start going through and liking comments that have been on the post that you're already having out there, or if comments have been on or interacting with the comments that are on there. This will actually boost your algorithm if you're going in and responding to comments and making comments yourself. So as a ninja trick, when you're doing these stolen moments, don't go to your page and look at a post and go, oh, wow, I've got 15 comments. That's so exciting. Don't go like, and be done. Go in, like a few, find a couple that you can comment back to. That will bump it out into the newsfeed more. And then later on, do it again and build relationships, build conversation. Think about when you're replying to a comment on a post as though you're sitting across the table from them. What would you say? Would you ask them another question? Would you enhance what they talked about? Be thinking about that when you're doing your responses, because really social is about social. And you want to build those relationships, and you do that by having conversations with people. So don't let the computer screen intimidate you. That is all I have. And I want to thank you guys for inviting me again to be part of this presentation and the Mobile 60 Minutes. And I want to invite you to follow along with the St. Charles Chamber and watch for these mobile minute tips to where you can learn more about what you can do from your mobile device to help build your business.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Norma, for your enlightening presentation. Lori joined us, so yeah, we appreciate it. And I know when we share those out, people always appreciate it. I forget, there was one, what was it? It was an Instagram one. It's been a bit ago, but I know whenever we shared, there was one that, whatever it was, got a ton of shares and likes, and I don't remember specifically what one it was, but we're always thrilled to be able to share that information, because just these little tidbits of information that I know businesses really appreciate. So, Lori, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Oh, I was on there. No, yeah. I try to post these on or repost them on Mondays. So if you're following the chambers, just look for that Mobile Minute logo. And if not, you can go to our photos or videos and catch up on all of them that we've posted through the years.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them now. Oh my goodness.
Love it.
But they're all different because it always changes. That's really
and
crazy.
They're just quick, easy tips. That's what I love about them.
Thank you so much. We enjoy putting them together and being able to share them in nugget size, because I feel like there's so much on every platform, and it can be quite overwhelming and daunting to go through. And so I think that these mobile minutes kind of help make it I don't know, digestible, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. No. Well, I know the people in the chamber industry certainly appreciate what you and Frank do to assist us. I know you guys have knowledge of our industry for a while, and we're always interested in helping small businesses, and I think this is a great way for us to be able to offer it out to small businesses. So thank you so much. We appreciate
Lots of positive comments coming in. They love this, Norma.
Oh, I'm excited, and I thank you guys so much. I have to get ready, but I appreciate it.
So I did have one last question. You said you were going to share the slides. So is that something you're going to send me?
Yeah, I will email you.
Okay.
and make sure that you have the slides. It'll actually probably won't be for a little bit because I have another meeting that I have to duck off to.
Okay. Well, send them to me, and then
right.
anybody watching that wants them can email us at the chamber.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Norma, for joining
Thanks
us.
a bunch.
We appreciate it. Have a good day, and thanks everyone for joining us. And I know we've got another Chamber U coming up next week, I believe. I forget what it is, but anyway.
Where's my camera or calendar? Give me 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the 18th. Well, we have one on the 22nd and one on the 18th. So stay tuned to our broadcasts.
And yeah, you can go see what those are about through the Chamber's website, which is gstccc.com, and click on the events calendar and then the day, and it'll tell you all the details of what we got coming up. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us, and have a great day.
Bye.